Shooter, are you ready? Stand by.
This is my video for my first Brutality match that I've ever done. Desert Brutality 2022. I was invited by this guy sleeping in the car here, Henry. We drove up to St. George from Tucson, Arizona the day before because we knew we were going to be in for a long day the next morning. We arrived to SUPS at 6 a.m. in the morning and put all our gear on and started on our trek as required by Trooper Division. We retrieve a token that we were supposed to return at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, that could have been a bad day.
When we arrived at stage 1, it was very dark. Fortunately, the sun had come up a little bit more and then I could see the targets.
Shooter, are you ready?
Stage 1 starts with rifle unloaded, and once the buzzer goes off, you climb over the obstacle and then you engage the 3 targets freestyle before you engage to the next obstacle. You can see here I'm having a hard time reloading these magazines, and honestly they were just a poor choice. This was the only stage of the day that required me to actually do reloads with my rifle. All other stages I was able to finish the stage with just the rounds that started in the first magazine. For some reason I choose to do this standing, no particular reason.
Hey, safe move.
The next stage is you had to shoot from over the table. The last obstacle obstructed the view of all 3 targets, which means you had to move your position on the table at least once in order to engage all of the targets. Once I made my hits, you would point the gun at the berm and then roll over the table and grab the gun and run up to the last barricade. You get the left and right targets first, and then when you engage the center target, you kick the magazine. So there's only 1 round in the gun, and you engage the center target. This clears the rifle because you're going to be making your way backwards.
1 round, center. Miss.
I miss, but fortunately these penalties were only 15 seconds as opposed to a full 60-second penalty.
Leave it, just move. Leave your hat.
Where about the hat?
Left. Alright, that's fine. Hey! Left. Hey, drop mag, 1 round. Hey!
Nice.
Under.
I crawl back through the first barricade. I have to admit it was slightly refreshing pointing a rifle at my squad mates. It felt a little bit weird because that was the first time I was able to treat my rifle as a stick in competition, even though it was verified, clear, and safe, but it still felt a little bit weird.
Bottom right. Left edge. Hey! Right target. Hey! Drop mag. Breathe. Hey!
Finish strong.
Finally, I crawl over the last barricade, and I reload and fumble, and then timeout.
Oh no!
And this cost me, I wasn't able to engage the last 3 targets, and they were 60 seconds each.
Put your hammer down range. And safe.
Stage 2 started very fun. Another issue that the mags had is that I didn't realize you could accidentally load them to 31 rounds if you weren't paying attention.
Alright.
Just gonna shoot it without a
Brace.
Seriously?
So I try forcing my magazine into my pistol, AK pistol, and I end up breaking the brace adapter off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
I have a spare
It's
part.
the new look.
I don't do it a mulligan now. You gotta fix that.
It ended up breaking because it was a 3D printed design I had come up with. But fortunately, I brought my iteration 1.
Yeah, you want me to sling it.
Fortunately, I was able to fix it without taking a mulligan.
Yeah, it's I have a backup, but would it cost me a mulligan?
No, not yet. So go ahead and unload.
Okay.
Yeah, Daniel, we're having a blast here. Stage 2. Just failed.
Because I loaded 30 round rounds in a magazine, and then I just
Those
forced
are not
it.
31 round mags either.
Just start over. So stage 2 starts
Stand by.
with rifle and pistol loaded, and there are 4 barrel positions that you need to shoot from, and you have to engage a target on the left and on the right, 1 hit each from each position. I take a while to get my hits here because I'm not very familiar with the combination of the pistol brace, the trigger, and this kind of uncomfortable cheek weld that the EOTech gives me. But I'm happy at least I didn't have to do a reload.
Oh my gosh.
Might want to reload.
So with this caliber, I only need 4 or 5 hits to turn this thing over.
3, 4.
Unload show clear. Unload show clear.
I then clear the rifle
You're clear.
and sling it, and then I engage the left and right targets with pistol from the box that's further up. I get a light strike here. This is an aftermarket trigger, and I am running Russian ammo with hardened brand primers, so yeah, it's not very surprising when it does happen to me. I don't know if the cold was necessarily a factor, but this spinner was very hard to spin. The grease inside the spinner bearing was making it slow very, very quickly, so I wasn't able to get over with the pistol. At least that's what I'm going to blame my lack of skill on. Fortunately, at this Brutality match, you didn't have to get the spinner over, as long as you were able to make 15 hits on the spinner. You got full points for neutralizing the target.
15.
All right. Unload show clear. 172.54.
17254.
Go ahead and check it out. Take your time.
All right.
Prison rules. If you show up and
Sure, are you ready?
okay, we have to respect.
Stand by.
So stage 3, the
Nope, shoot first,
infamous Casarda drill. I have done a Casarda-esque drill in Tucson once before. From when I did it one other time before, I was running it slick. I had one rifle mag in a pocket, but I was pretty much doing it in normal clothes.
Hey, you still gotta roll
Where
out.
now I'm contrasting with 30-ish pounds of gear on me. And I'm like, whoa, that is significantly harder. So it takes me a long time to actually figure out, you know, what throws work. Because it just seems my timing is so off just with all the extra stuff on it. The other thing you'll notice here is that my mini Beryl at home no longer has its EOTech on it. I actually removed the optic because I just wanted the better cheek well. I didn't think the optic was necessarily helping me that much. The EOTech is very good at faster target fix. Yes, it's very, very beneficial for that, but just because of how, you know, wobbly the brace was, it just wasn't very repeatable, so I just ended up opting with taking it off and stowing it in my vest. And actually I keep the EOTech off for like the rest of the day.
Lines down. Almost 3. All right. Hey. How's that hat treating you? Not good. Boonie hats have been a pain on this stage. Hit! Keep going, about 16 yards left. You got this. Finish strong. There you go, look at that roll. Nice.
I do love all of the words of encouragement on the
Let's set the bar
stage.
high for the squad.
So especially like toward the end, I was definitely feeling it.
All right. One glorious heat to finish it. Almost. Or 2 acceptable yeets. Yeah, 2 acceptable yeets are acceptable as well. Good enough is good enough here. Hit! All right, one more. Get it over the line. You got this. Plenty of time. Over. One hit from the line. Hit! All right, good run. 1, 5, 8, 3, 7. All 5 bonuses. Go ahead and unload, show clear. Cool.
You know, and I get to the point where I'm kind of so out of energy, I can't even pull my charging handle back fast enough where the round actually clears on eject, so I have to shake it out.
It's actually out or not. Yeah, I don't think it came out. Hold it back over. Let's see.
But at least I can say I did a true Casarda drill.
There you go. Chamber flag.
Hut, what do you think of that pizza?
Fire.
Fire. So we had like a Yachty's refrigerated pizza last night, or frozen pizza. How does this compare?
Better.
All right.
The Yachty's pizza didn't have the jalapeno cheese spread on it.
That's true.
Shit flat. Look at that gooey. Oh yeah.
Gooey goodness of the cherry. Blueberry cobbler?
Cherry blueberry.
Oh, it's both. Okay. God, let me get that color.
Oh yeah. Not even hot. It's actually good. It's really good. You'll get me in there. Big old bite in my mouth.
Okay, there it is.
Stage 4.
Shooter, are you ready?
Stage 4 starts
You're ready. Stand
with
by.
rifle and pistol loaded, and you have a table, a set of barrels, and a kettlebell. But you engage a steel plate. I do have, at my first hit, I did end up knocking the plate off like at a 45-degree angle. Unfortunately, I was able to hit it back into place with my my second hit on that plate. Freestanding. Once you make your hit, you safe and table the rifle. You pick up the dumbbell, throw it to the other side, and then you engage a silhouette with your pistol. And then you safe that or decock that, and then place that on the table, and then throw the kettlebell back over for 8 total iterations. And you cannot brace on the table at all. You have to do it kind of completely freestanding. You see me hitting consistently high, about a target and a half high, and I don't remember if I had this epiphany during the stage or after, but I had my battle zero selected instead of 100 yards. So at 100 yards, the group is very, very close. However, at the battle zero, which effectively, 250 to 300 meters, throwing my group a target and a half high. So it takes me a little while to figure out how high it's hitting.
Hit!
You see, halfway through, I actually do get like a nice hole, figuring out where the target is. However, the longer I go in the stage, I start getting tired and kind of starting to lose a little bit. So it takes me more rounds or more shots to figure out where I need to hold to make a hit. I could have taken a second to readjust my irons again, but I don't remember if I had that epiphany during or after the stage. Although fortunately the pistol is spot on.
6. Just high. Hit! Hit! 7. One more.
Come on, finish strong.
Despite me starting with 30 rounds in the rifle and 21 rounds in the pistol, I have over twice as many rounds left in the pistol magazine than I do in the rifle magazine.
5, 6. Clear. Hammer down. Holster.
So stage 5 starts on this wibble wobble table.
Shooter, are you ready?
I think
Stand
that's
by.
the technical term for it. And I was talking some mad shit before this stage. I was still swearing that I was more accurate with irons than I was with the EOTech. So this was kind of put my money where my mouth is. And I was luckily able to put my iron sights where they needed to be at 100 meters, and I make 1, 2, 3 hits just like that. Once I make my hits, then I grab a sandbag that weighs about maybe 60, 65 pounds, put it over my shoulders, then advance to the next bay. Unfortunately, the pistol part was also my weakest performance of the whole day, but that's okay. When I get to that bay, I drop the sandbag and grab my pistol, where then I have to shoot from positions on a barricade. I shoot from the left, underneath, and to the right, and then back to the left and repeat. Now, this is the first time I've ever encountered a target like this, so it was a bit interesting for me. Now, other people were getting really lucky, which I do eventually, where pretty much people engaging this target usually would make one hit, and then the target kind of dissolves on itself. But I didn't get as lucky. I had to hit it 2 or 3 times before the target then fully dissolved, and then I had to engage the static plate.
Left and under will be your last.
Left and under. Okay.
Under, last shot. Show clear.
Okay, once I make my last hit,
Holster.
I clear the pistol and holster it. I almost forget to grab my heavy sack, and then I advance to the next bay. Now, in the next bay is just engaging targets from a barricade. but then I just have to hit all the targets from each position
side, one
in
hit
the
per
barricade.
plate, or
And
one-
one thing
yeah,
that
one hit
occurred
per
to me,
target.
and this was also prevalent on the last bay within this stage, is that the second I go underneath, the second I start shooting a pistol underneath the barricade, I have no idea where my holes are. I just have not practiced that enough. It was something, you know, I kind of wish I went out of my way and did more practice a little bit more. It did take me a long time to figure out, if I had my pistol slightly canted, where to actually hold my point of aim to make those hits. Eventually I do figure it out, but ultimately, you know, I do end up having to get up, you know, pull another spare pistol magazine from my vest, and then be able to finish the stage with that.
Shit. I'm here, right?
Yep.
Number 3.
Hit. Hit. Right side. Last 4.
Fortunately, I finished it pretty clean with 4 solid hits from the right side of the barricade.
Hit.
Not my most proudest pistol performance.
Slide forward. Hammer and holster. Range is clear. Time is 2:01.86.
Alright, do you understand the course of fire?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Stage
Stand by.
6. Stage 6 starts with 5 clay pigeons that you have to engage with rifle. Now, once you make your first hit, then you advance to another box. The caveat being, you cannot return to the same box that you just shot from. However, I felt very confident from stage 5, but you see here that I probably got a little bit too cocky. So it takes me quite a few iterations to actually make these hits on these. But once I do, I clear the rifle and then advance to the next bay. On the way to the next bay, you have to crawl underneath the table a long ways. Fortunately, I enjoyed the fact that I was using a load-bearing vest instead of a backpack, so I didn't have to crawl as
Pants are falling down.
Drop mag. Holster. Issues done, unload and show clear. Alright, drop slide. Grab the hammer, holster. Time. 16237.
Grab the rope.
Stage 7, the last stage of the day.
Stand by.
Now this stage was pistol only, and it started with what they call the Death Star, which was this swinging Texas star. And I actually didn't do too bad. I think I only missed twice. And then once we were done with the star, then we had a single shot to engage.
You could use two hands.
You did not get penalized if you hit or did not hit it at all. So the next part of the stage was actually very interesting. So you had 5 boxes and you had to start from the farthest one. You had to make 2 consecutive hits in order to advance to the next box. However, if you missed, you had to go 1 box back.
Back.
You see, I actually run empty, and I actually had to load a magazine, chamber it, and then drop the magazine so that way I even had a round to clear. I make the hit, no penalty incurred, holster the pistol, and then proceed to the next bay. And the next bay, it's the exact same thing, however, the boxes are oriented diagonally.
Oh, take your time.
Tons of time.
Now here I start getting a little bit panicky considering how many times I had to step backwards, but fortunately I was able to keep finishing and finish strong.
You got this.
And for the last round of Desert Brutality, I lock back on
And holster.
an empty magazine.
Nice.
42 shots.
So what are my lessons learned from all of this? There were 2 things that I won't do again, and the first thing was ammo. Not the kind of ammo, but the quantity of ammo. During the match, I used 128 rifle rounds, including rounds fired and whatever was cleared from the rifle, or about 6 boxes of Tula 7.62x39. I was a little worried about running out, so I may have overcompensated a little bit by bringing an additional 17 boxes of 7.62x39. I brought almost 4 times the amount of rifle ammo I needed. Ironically, I had used less ammo than I had brought loaded in magazines, which was 4 loaded magazines and a half-loaded one. For pistol ammo, I used 153 rounds, or about 3 boxes of Tula 9mm. And same story, I may have overcompensated a little bit and brought an additional 5 boxes. Can you guess how much ammo this totaled up to be? In pounds? The total amount I brought added up to 26.5 pounds of ammunition. I brought so much extra ammunition, weight-wise I was fairly close to being an armored class. I definitely psyched myself out in terms of anticipating how much I thought I was going to miss, but I actually didn't miss that much. I wasn't appreciably any worse than I am at the local 2-gun matches. My ammo capacity was more determined by how much I could jam into my vest pockets, but it really shouldn't have been. In the future, I'll look at the round count and bring about double, and I should be good to go. Now for my second lesson learned.
Wow, 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 yippee yo, yippee yay!
Now this isn't talking about all pistol braces, this pertains more to my specific setup. I wanted to run my WBP Lynx, but with this particular brace, it just really didn't work out exactly the way I wanted it. I had to make a lot of compromises. Originally, I had an ALG trigger, which is a very decent match grade trigger for the money, but the short reset combined with how unsturdy the brace was would result in these unintended double taps, which I would be damned if I got tossed out of a competition for that reason. To mitigate this, I replaced the trigger with the surplus Romanian trigger, which fixed the problem. However, because that particular brace isn't as stable, I had a hard time not jerking the trigger and the whole gun and missing. Now, the brace breaking off was a fault of my own, not the brace's, but the brace did not aid me as much as I would have wanted it to. It turns out at this event, there wasn't really any compelling reason to run a short gun. There was no VTAC barricade, nor anywhere that required maneuvering where a short gun had a significant advantage. Weight, maybe. This AK pistol almost weighs 8 pounds in this configuration. I could have run a longer gun and probably would have fared a little better. My standard AKM with a fixed wooden stock and a match grade trigger would have been superior against my little AK pistol. Now on to things I didn't regret doing.
2JZ engine, no shit.
Now, I went a little out of my way to bring spare parts for the guns I brought, but my part selection would be stuff that I could pack easily and wasn't too heavy and didn't justify buying another gun. However, for the P07, it was a little bit more difficult finding an abundance of original manufacturer spare parts. Much of the advice I received along was just buying a second gun, which I just deemed absurd for the purpose. What I ended up doing was buying a Cajun Gunworks trigger kit for the P07, and then brought these stock parts along as my spare parts. Arguably, it did make the gun a little less reliable, but in exchange, I got a nice single action trigger and a phenomenally improved double action trigger pull. A modified trigger isn't a replacement for practice, but I'd like to think that the lighter trigger helped more the longer the stage went on for. In the case of Stage 7, which required repeated pistol accuracy, the Cajun Gunworks trigger package really shined because I got this very, very nice trigger pull and didn't give me a chance to jerk the gun around between each shot. So I am very glad I installed it for this match. In the months leading up to Desert Brutality, I took up day hiking trips to prepare for it. No particular reason, I just wanted to know if it could handle the weight hiking around. The conclusion I drew from this were my boots I had were terrible. About an hour or so on these hikes, the bottom of my feet would hurt. I tried fixing them with insoles, but what that ended up doing was shifting my foot forward, and it lifted up my foot to where the shoe rubbed the skin off of my toes. So I knew that I had to get new boots, and since I was doing a British Army getup, I figured why not look at British surplus stuff first. When I saw videos about their new issued boot, I saw the British military was committed to developing a new boot for their soldiers that would minimize foot-related injuries in the field, the result being these Pilgrim GTX boots. These were the most expensive boots I've ever purchased, but it was worth every penny. At the end of the competition, my upper legs were mildly sore after a full day of competing, but I had absolutely no pain from my feet at all. I only have one item for this, and I remembered hearing it from other Brutality videos as a highly recommended, and that would be a magnified optic. The weekend I got back from Desert Brutality, I borrowed my friend's Micro Draco for the local 2-gun match. He had just tossed a 1:6 LPBO on it with the master mount system, making this thing look like an Escape from Tarkov modded monstrosity.
Hit! I guess it's 0.
Zeroed enough.
I just left it in 2 magnification the whole match, and frankly the cheek well was terrible. However, just that little bit of extra magnification went a long way for hitting targets at distance. These in-range 2-gun action matches famously have unpainted targets, and Desert Brutality was no exception. And thinking back to Stage 1 at Desert Brutality, those targets were very hard to see that early in the morning. Some magnification would have definitely improved finding the targets and adjusting it for effective holds. Some people do find it a little disorienting, but for me at 2x magnification, I had no issue using the optic with both eyes open. This will be something I'll consider bringing for the next Brutality match.